crime constant saga with the news. River State government restricts movement on all land borders from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. starting tomorrow over attacks on
Good evening.
Paramount ruler of Ikoro community, King Aaron Ikoro, leads delegation to seek Governor Wike's intervention on insecurity in Angeli communities. Gunmen attacked Federal High Court in Abakaliki, Ebonyi State capital.
I've been kind of under the weather. It's not corona. Anyway, well, I just decided to just pick up my camera this evening. I think you've already heard that I was listening to the radio, and then they just announced a curfew in Port Harcourt starting from 8 p.m. Why? Due to the insecurity that's been happening around Nigeria. So yeah, for those of you that don't know, maybe those of my viewers that are not in Nigeria, I'm currently vlogging from Nigeria, Port Harcourt to be precise. And if you're Nigerian, except you've been living under a rock, there's been series of violence and insecurity around the whole country. In fact, I would say this weekend alone we've had more than maybe 10 or 11 serious incidents of insecurity around the country, and some happen in River State, and so the government has decided to impose a curfew. So that's where we are right now. For the fact that we're in Nigeria, we can't just turn deaf ears to all the stuff that's happening really in Nigeria, because I think it affects everybody one way or the other. If you decide to turn a deaf ear to news, sometimes news might come to you. Yes, we don't know, we don't want to dwell on the negatives and all. We want to showcase our country in a good light, but sometimes voices need to be heard and opinions need to be sought so that people can, be abreast of what's happening and also seek ways to forge ahead. Because right now the state of insecurity in Nigeria is alarming, very, very, very alarming. In fact, I was listening to one of the news channels and they were like, this is unprecedented. Like, a country that's not at war shouldn't have this amount of insecurity situations happening everywhere. So that's on that. Still related to the state of insecurity and insurgency in Nigeria. A few days or a few weeks ago, we had this Pantami issue. So if you're not Nigerian, Pantami is a minister of communication and I think a digital and communication, something like that. Yeah, he was appointed a minister and all that, and he's been trying to put in a few digital projects like the national identity number and all that, to link them with your phones and all that. And all that has just been the way any new thing is in Nigeria. It's tasking, it takes all your energy, and the results are not really anything to show. Anyway, that's the way it goes, but I'm not dwelling on that. A few questions have been raised, not a few, I'll say quite a lot of questions have been raised about his eligibility, as in the past he has been seen to sympathize, or he has been heard to sympathize with some extremist groups. And I'll just insert a video here just to give you a bit of a background to the story. So as the story goes, he is currently serving minister in Nigeria, still serving, and there's been quite a few calls for him to resign his office. But in his defense, he said that these views that he held was when he was not well informed, and he held them when he was really, really young, and he has grown. So I'm like, okay. And then he's calling that people should forgive him. In fact, in an interview just held with the spokesperson of the presidency, Mr. Garba Shehu, who is the spokesperson to the presidency, says actually the issue is not about Mr. Pantami having extremist views. It's about those that are not willing to forgive him for, you know, having those, but now he's fully repented. He's now seen the light, as it were, and so that shouldn't bring any bearing to his eligibility for the position of national office, as in the current position he's holding now as the Minister of Communication. And so there's been this debate: should he resign or should he not? Should he be forgiven or should he not? So my issue here is this. First of all, I've done quite a few searches on him, just to find out what the background, what he's about. And most of the videos I see are, his speeches are not even in English, and there's always like a subtitle in English. So most of his speeches are in ethnic Hausa, and so maybe because those are the audiences he usually talks to. Why should a minister of communication, you know, have like 90% of his speeches in vernacular? That's number one. The second one is, what I have searched and seen, that he is a revered religious scholar in the Islamic faith, and he's had so many preachings and all that. So listening to him, one thing I got, that when even being called to serve in the national capacity, one of his greatest regrets was just leaving the place of worship behind. Why did you have to make that choice? Why did you have to make a choice to leave your place of worship and where you feel you are closer to God, to come to hold national office, and then you're facing this whole scandal? So do you think it's still valid? He's a man that's at peace with, you know, being a preacher, being close to, you know, his place of worship and everything, and you call him out to be the Minister of Communication. Like, is that his core competence? The first thing. And the second thing is this issue of, you know, him being a reformed person that once held extremist views and should be forgiven. So if that plays out for him, then it should play out for every other person. That means if a reformed murderer can hold public office, if someone has been convicted of murder, can be a public office holder, as long as he shows repentance, we can forgive him. Or maybe a pedophile, or maybe you commit any of these crimes and then you are forgiven. Because no, I've watched a lot of interviews, and I said an interview was asking the spokesperson for the presidency on, you know, he has seen other, you know, ministers and people holding public offices being let go for lesser crimes, or will I say lesser allegations. It's like maybe the former Minister of Finance, Madam Kemi Adeosun, that had this NYSC certificate forgery saga, and the man was saying yes, that forgery of certificates is even a heftier crime than siding with extremists. I was like, wow, I've never seen where a forged NYSC certificate killed anybody. But I would say the current insecurity we are facing now is as a result of, probably then, he said 15 years ago, means the fans of these insurgents and uprising we are seeing currently now, in the likes of Boko Haram, banditry and all that, those were the roots. The roots were being formed 15 years ago. Now, if people that revered as much as this man had those views and were siding with those people that have now come up to become hydra-headed monster that they are today, that the whole country is, you know, is in quandary. And then the second thing is, yes, if you held those views before now, but now you said you have gone through great lengths to refute those ideologies, that you have grown, so how come these ideologies that you are refuting and you're trying to reschool people, how come it's not having effect? How come the country is still burning? I mean, the gusto, the energy you use to support those views 15 years ago, are you using the same energy to refute those views? What impact has it made? What about the thousands that are still indoctrinated by wrong idiosyncrasies that cause mayhem and just cause serious violence and destruction everywhere, or even on a daily basis? These are the issues. This has turned to a rant, but the thing is, we can't have double standards here. If you are saying, okay, forgive this man, let him continue, then be ready to forgive other people too. Be it when they hold extremist views, when they, steal money, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of people have lost their lives so far because of, insurgency and extremism and all that. Then tell me which one is a weightier crime or which one is a more weightier allegation, and then put people that have core competence in the positions. You're a minister of communication, so like the whole world is looking at you. If you want to fill out a visa, like maybe a US visa or UK visa, and then all those questions they ask, security, they call it security questions. Have you ever aided or supported? Have you ever... Look, it doesn't matter. Even if it's 100 years, those questions will be still there. Have you ever aided or supported any terrorist group? Have you ever given money? Have you ever... And you answer yes to one of those questions, are they going to give you a visa? In fact, from then, they might even launch an investigation into that person. So if these countries know to keep their borders clear from people that even have extremist views, so what about us? The onus is on us now to forgive. I'm not saying no, don't forgive him. Yeah, forgive him, but then should he now become like a spokesperson for the nation? I think I will just end it here, because even saying it, talking about it right now is just mind-boggling. The things that happen in this country called Nigeria will just shock you. It will shock you and shock you to your marrow. But this is just one. I mean, so many people have heard their views. There has been calls for him to resign and all that. But I think we should look at these things critically. Number one, this guy is saying that he even regrets, leaving his first calling, which is to be a man of God. He was just happy, being in the holy city and being close to prayers and all that. He said he was happy then. So why not leave him there? Is it that there's no other person that in this country that can fill this position of Minister of Communication? There are no smart people, technocrats, visionaries that can fill this position. None. And the second thing is, forgive that, yes, he has had these tendencies before and he has changed. Now, should he continue being in that office? Are there no repercussions for having it being made public that someone once held those views and maybe at some time aided this current uprising we are having today, which has led to the loss of hundreds of thousands, if not running into millions of lives? So guys, I would like to just hear your comments on this. This is not the normal me you see. I was just driving home and then I heard about the curfew, and throughout last week to this week, over the weekend, we've been inundated with so much incidences of insecurity. So I had to just pick up my camera and just give my 2 cents on this issue. It's not just enough to just film happy-go-lucky scenes and all that and talk about soft topics. I'm a Nigerian first, and so when things aren't really quite right, people need to speak about it. And so yeah, this is just me lending my 2 cents, and like I said, I want to hear what your comments are on this topic, and then we'll see. Just God help us, God help everybody, God help this nation called Nigeria. God just help us. Honestly, God just help us, because I don't know. So yeah, I guess I'll see you in my next video. Please do stay safe wherever you are. If you're in Nigeria, just comment down below where you are, and hope you're safe. Give it a thumbs up if you like this video, and would like to see more of this. Give this a thumbs up, and please comment down below on what your thoughts are and everything, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.